Hello RC fans, Racing 393. Today's video um, is about the Pits. It's a fantastic RC club in West Mosley. It's soon to be relocated but still local. This track's an indoor carpet track and it is only approximately about 40 minutes from me, so really local and a really friendly club. Now, this video is about an RC meetup that we went to. I went there on the weekend just gone, and it was arranged by Gavin at RCKicks. This is the second time that I've been here with an event through RCKicks, and there has been other events around the country. I think there was one in Birmingham. There's one somewhere else, I'm pretty sure. So, but this one is the local to me, and this is the second iteration. I decided to arrange to go along, and I'll take my LMP 12 car. So I don't get much running with that. So this video is about the day and how the day went. There's a little bit of walk around, a little bit of running footage of my car and some various bits and pieces. I'll do a voiceover because it's really difficult to talk. It was quite noisy. It wasn't as busy as last time. Last time I was there was probably about 60 odd people, so I've been told. This time there was about half that, noticeably quieter. I only took one car, so I still only got 2 sessions. I'll tell you a little bit why I didn't want to take my other cars later on during the video. But this is going to be about my exploits in my LMP12, a few setup procedures that I did, what I thought, and my outcome. So sit back and enjoy the video. So here we are in the pit area. That's my pit table. I'm going to talk about a couple of the cars that were here. I don't know everything about them, so I'll only point out the ones that I thought that I know about. So this guy here was here last time. The cars he's got there are very well prepared. These ones here, I don't know all about these cars. There was an interesting motorbike there, a few bits and pieces, a Pro Cat, another Schumacher there in the background. That car there went really, really quickly. I like the colour scheme of that car. That's kind of the modern, is that a Team Associated, I think. An egress there. Expensive car to buy nowadays. I prefer the original colour actually, that one. That was one of my favourite trucks. A Dyna Blaster. A couple of older type of cars there and some modern buggies. Nicely prepared. A nice F1 car. Don't know the chassis of that one. But they people brought a load of cars. That looks like it could be a TT02 typical chassis at the end there. Yeah, people bought absolutely shed loads. An old, or I say old, it's a Falcon in a different colour scheme. The new Astute, not a great fan of that. That was impressive. That was bigger than expected. Oddly enough, that was impressive when it was going around the track as well. But yeah, what I'm saying is people bought an absolute shed load. I had enough just bringing one car. But fair play to everybody that was came. I mean, oh, by the way, that is one of my favourite Beetles. I might have to buy that one day. Bigwig. I love or hate. I'm not too keen on the futuristic body shells. No, I don't particularly like that one personally. But you know, each their own. A Madcap there. I had one of them a while ago, but I enjoyed that car. It's a little bit futuristic, but it had a cab at the back. I'm not a great cab forward guy. Yeah, so as I was saying, people bought absolutely a ton load. There's a track in action. It's a nice track. It's probably not best suited to LMP12, if I'm honest. It needs to be flatter. It's a very bumpy back straight, which might explain a few things when you watch the video of my car. We're just going to wander through the area. We're going to down the stairs. There we go. And then we come out to the track. A few more cars first, though. Yeah, Porsche 959, a classic Tamiya car, if you've got one of those. I've never had one of those, so not sure what that is, can't think. Hot Shot 2, maybe it's what the blockhead one should have been. I see a lot of these, I'm unsure of the chassis. It's pretty obvious what some are. Another cab forward one, which I'm not keen on. A really old F1 car. That was fast, that one as well. And these kind of, what I would say maybe M chassis type cars. Very good indeed. Some old classics there. I like the Kyosho on the right hand side, the red one. And there's that Beetle again, another version of it. This is, I don't know whether that's a modern or an older one. But anyway, we're on to the bit of running with the track. Now there's a reason I didn't take my other cars. This isn't representing why I didn't. But the modern, I think they did two-wheel drive buggy, or was it modern buggy? Oh my god, they were like missiles. Smashing into each other. There was broken cars and bits everywhere. Although it was usually only like a ball joint, but no, that wouldn't be for me. So I took the LMP12 because there was other fragile-ish cars out there like these. They got the F1 cars and LMP12. So I stuck my camera down just to show you a few laps of my car. Now, there's my car there, the green one there. So, the thing is, there wasn't a lot of grip I found on this track, even though I put additive on the tyre, and I did it in a particular way that was more recommended in previously when I spoke to someone. And it did take a few laps for it to grip. And you'll see, although my car doesn't look that quick, there's two elements to this. The green shell was my first run, and it goes there, you see. So it's very difficult for me, your depth perception, to see where the edge of the track is, because the podium, if you like, is on the left-hand side. So from where you're looking now, it's on the left. And yeah, as I was saying, so the car was a bit skittish, but I did try the green body shell, which is my new one, and then I changed to the like translucent blue one, which we'll see later. I think it goes back to the green one as well, where the editing, I've got like the first part, second part, and then another bit of the first part. It's pretty irrelevant, to be honest. My car did get quicker. It was really quick on the corners eventually, but I did find going flat out difficult. So at the end of the video, I'm going to go through the setup bits and pieces that I did, and I'll show you a little bit of the close-up of the car as people trying to take my my camera out. I think I even managed to do that a little bit when I had the blue shell on there. But they're quite quick. I mean, one of the main issues I had here was I couldn't go flat out because the car wouldn't be stable enough. And those other cars just seemed to be more stable. A bit heavier, maybe. There's me there, got the blue shell on. You see someone's whacked the barrier there. And there's me again. Oh, that's not me, that's a blue Mini getting in the way, I think. There I go, there. I was trying to take my own camera out. A bit of a crash there with a couple of Minis. But we're going to get my... Well, my camera fell over then. Oops. But we're going to get my car out now, and I'm going to show you some bits and pieces on it.
Okay, so here's the car. You've seen it all before. And I used the green shell. There's a video on my channel when I was doing that shell. This is the M22, which I hadn't used, but it's now knackered and damaged, and I'll show you that in a way. You can see that here. So it's split on the end here. So that's a user error. Shouldn't be hitting things that hard. So perhaps I shouldn't have used it, but Anyway, I've got to get another one. But I did find I got a bomber shell. That was the red translucent one, which I didn't film last time. Was at the pits. That went okay. And then I tried the green shell, which is the new one, which is was it called? What was that one? I can't remember now. It's on my channel. That went okay. And then I tried this one. This is the one they're all kind of using. So I'll get another one. Maybe what I'll probably do is get, I don't know if this is a lightweight one or that this is it. I'm pretty sure it's a lightweight one. So I'll get probably get two, a lightweight one and a slightly thicker Lexan. So I know it's going to be a bit heavier, but it's going to be a bit stronger considering it's going to be bashed around, isn't it? So I'm just not in a position where I can go around the track quickly and not hit anything. You can see that by the front here. So I know you can put is it, what do they put on there? Drywall tape, so just to strengthen the front up a little bit. I've got that. I haven't done it, so I'll probably do that anyway. So I've got some notes, but let's take the shell off. So it's a standard Eclipse 4. There's nothing unusual. And there's plenty of information on my channel about this car, and those that know will know a hell of a lot more about this than I do. So, where are we at then? So when I first went out there, so this is the first run. Now I tend to use Spider Blue. I know there's different variants. There's probably people that use others. Doesn't matter, but Spider Blue on the tyres. Now, I did read, I knew I was doing this wrong. I was reading something online, and I think you put the timing of when you put it on to wipe it off to use it, there's an optimal. But I know people have their own perhaps optimal timings. And I knew what it was because I'd written it down, but I didn't do it. I just wanted to experiment. It was one of those things, I want to try things out. So it was way too, I mean, I think the optimal time is about somewhere around 25 to 30 minutes before your race, and then you wipe it off like 8 minutes before you go out. There's a certain amount of seepage needed for this tyre softener. Anyway, this is what I did. I put it on like an hour and 20 before, so it pretty much almost dried, and I removed it. So an hour 20 before and 30 minutes before use. The actual additive was super dry on the tyres. I could tell, even before I'd used it, that it was probably, that was too much. You could see that the tyres did look dry. So I knew that wasn't a great thing. The track also, I felt, was very low grip, which also didn't help. Now my spur was 76 and my pinion's 41. It's always been that. I haven't changed that since I raced at Eastbourne at the beginning of the year. It's got the tyres have probably changed, as in when I first used this car. These were turned down by Zen Racing, and I just wanted them at 42.5mm diameter. Is that right, or was it circumference? Hang on, let me think. Diameter, it's round, isn't it? And it had a rollout of 72mm. I don't know if that's right or wrong, but it gave you a potential on my gearing chart like it's 40 mile an hour top speed. Maybe it's not. Maybe that's not right. That doesn't matter anyway, because I'm not quick enough to worry about those sort of things. What else? The lipo's positioned at the back, the furthest back, and that had always stayed there anyway. So I know changing the lipo position can change the handling characteristics dramatically. What else? Everything else, all I did do was lower the front end. So I'm pretty sure I got that written down somewhere. So when it went out, this hadn't changed anyway. So the ride height on the front, I put at 3.4mm, and the back was 3.6mm. The side springs here, or one here, on the other side, they were standard. They were kit standard. And the rear pod kit standard. You probably can't see that, but you know what it is. That's kit standard. and so with the front. I was running a 1.5 camber bar, is that, on the front, and that's been on there a while as well. I haven't really changed that. So when I went round, what I found was there was a lot of push. Maybe it was too much rear grip, or not enough front grip, as it would say. Now, when I say push, under power, it would push. Like wide enough to hit the barriers. When you come off the power, it will grip. Now, it makes sense. That to me makes sense. You power into a corner, it would push. Now, I'm not sure what that could be. Well, let me rephrase that. I got an idea what it might be, but rather than change one thing, I changed about 4. Because I didn't have time just to sort of do one and think, oh, it's exactly the same. I wanted to make things dramatically different. So for the second run, I did a couple of changes on here. So I've got some notes which I will read out. So the rod height, just to confirm, 3.4mm at the front, 3.6 at the back. The blue body shell. So the first run was with the green one. Then I'll put this blue one on. The rear pod, these were changed. I say changed to standard. What had happened is, with these Schumachers, I need to look into this, but the adjustment screw, which you can just make out is there, the grub screw, it screws down onto a cone, which then compresses these springs. And these inserts, I get real problems of. I was thinking about it last night. I'm pretty sure I'm setting these up wrong. They're too tight, and they shouldn't be like that. You should turn them just to compress the springs slightly. They shouldn't, you're not undoing it or doing it up. And I think I've done these just when I've built it, because I kept pushing the insert out. And in doing so, when I was trying to move it, I bent the spring. So I had to put some other springs on. Now, there were just a bunch of springs. I'll have to buy some standard springs to put back in, because I'm pretty sure one standard, one might not be. I know it's not gonna help, but likewise, it's not, for me, it's not gonna make a massive difference. Well, it might do, but I know when it went out on run 1, they were the same, and I made a cock up basically. So anyway, that was that. So I put what I thought was this one left, the standard spring I left in there, and the other spring just felt the same. The others in the box that I've got were dramatically different. They was definitely softer or definitely harder. So not ideal, but it is what it is. I might have to get some more of these. I'm going to make another one of these. What are these, pod braces? Is that what it's called? I don't know what that's called. But I'm going to get some more of these if I can, and make some sets up with hard, medium, soft, so I don't have to mess around, just undo them. Because it is a bit fiddly getting them on, and there might be a way of doing it that's easier, but if you know, then you can let me know. So the other thing was the droop. So I made sure that my droop was 0.6mm droop, and I tightened up the rear droop screw spring so that it, what does that do? That does something. I did to help turning. I did one turn of that. So initially that was set, the back. So that was set to standard, whatever it says in the kit. And I just turned that down one turn. And this is the same spring as the kit supplied, although I've got others. So that was supposed to aid turn in. That does make sense, because that goes into what they call, what do they call that? Anti-squat or negative squat. What's the other thing? What's it called? Did I write that down? No, I didn't. So the angle of that rear pod, the whole rear pod here, if it's angled sort of down, anti-squat, or was it the other one? Whatever it is, the instructions or the information that I was reading online from Schumacher said that maybe angling that rear pod down slightly will aid turn in. So I went with what they said. So I did that. I didn't feel that would be enough, although it may have been. I did toe out the front steering a little bit, literally about a quarter of a turn of these tie rods. I know it was straight because I set it up at home. I didn't bother doing putting it on the sort of setup station. I couldn't be bothered to get it out, to be honest. So it was just literally quarter of a turn on the turnbuckles. So a little bit of toe out, that makes sense. That's going to help the car turn in. So both those, I feel, probably would have been enough. What else did I do? So the softener I put on, I did the recommended one, so 30 minutes before you went out, and I took it off 10 minutes before you use it. It felt better, it felt squidgy. Initially, when I took the car out, there was nothing. It just spun. So maybe I've done something wrong there, or maybe not applied it and took it off. But anyway, eventually it started to work. It did start to grip. I put the application on the rear wheels, fully on the rear wheels, so all the way across, as Schumacher have instructed. And the front, on the first run, I did like 5mm, so just on the inside edge. On the second run, I did half. Again, I'm thinking I need to aid turn in. I was trying to put everything on the car that would help turn in. The side sort of compression struts, dampers, I put 12,000 weight oil in there. Not 12,000. Yeah, 12,000 weight. I think that's recommended. I don't have 10. I think 10 is I think, is it 10 recommended? I didn't have any of that, so I put 12 in. Well, I'd redone it, so I'd already put 12 in, but I'd redone that. And the same spur and pinion, because I hadn't changed that. I was thinking of doing it, but I was trying to do handling characteristics. So this shell was also was hitting the ground as well, so I hadn't. Well, it didn't look like it was going to do it, but when it was going round, something was hitting. I did feel it went quite well with this shell, so I'm gonna buy another one of those shell, another two, as I said before. So what was the outcome of run 2? So it did turn in. Under braking, it pulls to the left. Now on the back straight of the track, there was a bump. Hence, I think someone that knows exactly what they're talking about had already been down to the track and said it's not suitable for LMP12. There was various things that I was told by the owner. However, one of the main things was that bump on the back. Now that may have contributed why the car was skidding to the left, but I did find the car pull to the left. I'm running a ball diff, and I did tighten the ball diff up in the first run, and then loosened it off for the second run. I know that majority of people run a solid spooled axle, and I've got one. I just didn't build it up. I just want to keep it as I know it. So maybe it'll be more skittish with a solid axle. I don't know, but this is easy to drive apparently, so I'll stick with what I know on that. But it did pull hard left under braking. It wasn't steering straight. Well, that's clearly me with the steering, and perhaps there's more to be done here to get it so it does steer straight. It turned. The track was predominantly clockwise. This is probably a combination of these springs, what I was telling you earlier. So it turned right better than it turned left. There wasn't many left turns. Well, the left turn it did turn was okay. There was one right turn at the end, which it just did not like. I don't know what's wrong with that part of the track. There's another left. Well, I say it didn't turn left as well, but it did seem to turn right more stable, under power. Turning left under power, it seemed to push, I think. So that's probably these springs, isn't it? So I think I've answered my own question there. What I can't do, now this is where I probably need a little bit of help. What I can't do is pin the throttle because it's not stable. Is that how you race them? I'm pretty sure, from what I've heard when I was at the last meeting I was at back in the beginning of the year, they were really just pinning the throttle a lot out the corners, and the cars were like arrow straight. This one definitely can't do that. It seems to want to just pull and go left and right under hard accelerator. I couldn't actually hit full throttle. So there's one big issue. But it did drive overall better than the first run. The M22 body is too thin for me at the moment, but maybe they'll do a thicker one. I will, like I said, I'll get another one. Maybe the shell was a big improvement on the other one, the green one that I had. What was that? Body rad design? Body rad? I don't know. Can't remember now. I threw the packaging away. So that's where we're at. You can see it. I'll show you a little bit of a close-up of the tyres if I can. So the front one's got like a groove here. It didn't have that before I used it. I mean, they're in pretty good condition for once. They're not bad. I'm quite happy with them. These ones are a bit chewed up, this front one. But there's enough on there to grip. I mean, it's got a bit missing there. I don't know what compound these are. I can't remember. So this is something else which I need to take note of. I think they're like 30 Shore or 32 Shore. Front and rear. I don't mix and match like that. But yeah. So overall, I'm quite impressed. I'm impressed that things did work. I'm still not impressed that I still can't drive around without hitting things. Yeah, and yes, the other cars, there were some F1 cars which are quicker. There's one in particular that was quicker than me, but it was handling a lot better. I mean, I know a normal LMP12 car would probably piss over most of those cars out there if someone else was driving a car that could handle. I get it. So it's purely down to me. If I could go quicker on the straight, I don't think I would have been caught by anything. So that was my event at the RCKicks meetup on the second event at the pits in West Mosley. Now I spoke to the guy there, Mike, very helpful chap. He did say that if I could get a couple of guys together, we could run a practice day down there, or practice evening. I think he meant practice evening. It's not worth him opening up and go. He obviously doesn't live near there, or doesn't live there. Opening up the track just for me, it just won't be cost effective. So I've got someone else in mind. I don't know if anyone else is local enough to West Mosley that wouldn't mind, especially if you're into LMP12, perhaps arrange to go down there. I think they still charge like 10, 15 quid. I mean, I'd be quite happy to pay more than that if it meant a couple of us went, or three, and you pay a bit more, say 20 quid, 25, and you got it for all evening and you're just going to practice. I'd pay that. If it helps him out and gets a couple there, why not? I mean, you can track yourself. You can then try one thing at a time and perhaps dial it in. And if maybe one of those people that went with me knows what they're doing, they could advise me what to do. I know Eastbourne do a track hire, I think, but that's like in a school, college, which is temporary, where this one's permanent. There's one in the pits is a permanent track. I know it's not perfect for LMP12, for those that know what they're doing, but it was okay for me. But yeah, so that's where we're at. That's the end of the video. Thank you to Gavin, RCKicks. Thank you to Mike at the pits. Thank you to everyone watching. Thank you to Schumacher for your information to help me try and drive better. And I shall see you on the next video. I'm not sure when that will be, but I'll let you know, perhaps on my channel for any perhaps club meetings that I might do during the winter, which I'm hoping to get down to perhaps Eastbourne being one of them. Thanks for watching, appreciate that. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.